Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the conference. I hope you can. I hope you were refreshed from that last break. Feel free to settle into your seats, and we will begin again. Just a housekeeping note: that evaluation form that I asked you to fill in, that can be found on the Communities Without Boundaries website. I think it is form number 14 under the list of presenters. So you can find the form there, or please, as I said, feel free to email Bill Pricker. His email is bill@communitieswithoutboundaries.ca. So, it's been a remarkable day. We're moving into our last session, and this should be a lot of fun. Craig Montgomery, I'm going to introduce Craig, who is session chair. Craig Montgomery is Professor Emeritus in Instructional Technology in the Department of Educational Psychology at the University of Alberta. And he is one of my favorite people. I was astonished when I first met Craig to hear such a resonant voice emanating from so trim and slender and compact a figure. But as Craig says, he is a professor, and so he professes. Now I did notice, and you probably saw Craig on screen, I'm not sure if his voice has quite the same volume as the shirt he is wearing today in Hawaii. I actually asked him to lower his camera so we could see more of that shirt. Craig's experience and his exploits in broadband generally, but particularly as broadband relates to education, is without parallel nationally and internationally. It seems there is only one degree of separation between Craig and anyone who has anything to do with technology in education, anywhere in the known universe. He has either taught them, worked with them, or consulted to them. Craig is an educator. He is particularly proud of the work he did with the Rural Advanced Community of Learners Project, a partnership project between the Fort Vermilion School Division and a host of others. And Craig's experience as an educator in controlling a classroom will come in very handy, I think, during what should be an active panel discussion around a very challenging issue, the first mile, last mile of broadband connectivity. Craig, I'm glad you're in Hawaii. I'm glad for you. We've got good weather here, but you've got better weather there, I'm sure. It's good to have you with us, and you have the floor.
Aloha, everybody. I guess after that long introduction, you don't need to know anything more about me. We've set up this panel to try and break down the problem into three areas. First of all, we're going to look at the user and community needs. And we have three people that are going to talk to you there: Allan Bly, Stephanie Betts, and Ben Hyde. Then we're going to go and look at the national ISPs, and they will tell us what they can provide in the way of last mile, first mile connectivity. And finally, we're going to talk to a couple of the provincial ISPs about their concerns and issues. I guess this question as to whether we call it last mile or first mile depends on where you sit. If you're in rural Alberta, I think you probably want to call it first mile because you want to connect to the supernet or to the internet. You probably don't even know that there is this thing called the supernet. You really just want to connect to the internet. If you're an ISP, you're looking at it from your centralized position. So TELUS, Bell, look at it from where they are, Edmonton or Calgary or some such area. And when they're looking out there, you in Barrons or TB Creek are in the last mile. So given that this is a Communities Without Boundaries, we're going to talk about it in the first mile point of view. First person that's going to talk for you, or to you, pardon me, is Allan Bly. Allan, as Perry has already introduced, is the president and founder of ViTel Consulting and has over 30 years of experience in the telephony and data environment. Allan plays in the networking environment internationally, and he's talked to NORTEL, Cisco, and most Canadian IT and communications people. Allan has a reputation for making complex issues easy and understandable. His consulting processes go beyond bits and bytes and mere technical solutions to talk to people about people problems. ViTel did the ABC Tech report and has just completed the Parkland Rural Broadband Study, and Allan is going to talk to you today about those studies. Allan, please.
Craig, thank you very much. What I'd like to do to start off talking about is how I got here today. And how I got here today was I actually met Perry. I met Perry having breakfast in the Mr. John's restaurant on 124th Street one morning. And what had happened was I had a business crash on. I lost the business. And I was pouring my sorrows with Perry. And Perry became a mentor of mine. And you know that group of 5 that grew to 5,000? Well, I became number 1,002, I think, or something like that. And I started to attend those meetings with ABC Tech, and they established those 5 priorities. And the 5th priority that Perry mentioned was to deal with rural broadband as Perry and his group went out into the communities to do economic development. So I felt that maybe I owed Perry a little bit of a favor because he pulled my socks up. And he said to me one day, he said, "Would you like to write me a report?" And the report will be called The Status of Rural Broadband in Alberta. So we created a group of editors, about 8 of us, and we all put our heads together and we sat down and wrote the report. The report got written this year, and it was provided in June of this year to public presentations both in Edmonton and Calgary on the same day. I think the date was June 16th. That created a few issues. There was a little bit of media play on it. And then from that, I got invited to a couple other meetings in terms of rural broadband. And then from that, I was contacted by Parkland County to actually do a study for them. Now, what I witnessed here today was something I didn't think I would witness, but I did. All the presentations that I've seen today here have all been to do with municipalities. Not one single presentation here today has had anything to do with a county. And what is a county? Prior to doing this study here, I think I was really kind of ignorant in terms of being an Albertan as to what the role of a county is and the role that the county plays in rural Alberta. To give you an idea of what a county is, if you're not familiar with it, there's 47 counties in Alberta. If you're not familiar with the role of them, if you were to drive, let's say from Edmonton, and you were to drive west, and just as you hit the edge of Edmonton, there's a big sign there that says Parkland County. Then you drive through Parkland County to get to Spruce Grove. Then you leave Spruce Grove, you continue west, and you drive through Parkland County again to get to Stony Plain. You then leave west of Stony Plain, and you keep driving west, and you hit Entwistle. You've driven through Parkland County. Now, to put that in relationship of broadband, think about this. If you were driving on Highway 16, and you hit that Parkland sign, the road changes into a gravel road. Then you continue on that gravel road, and then just as you hit that the Spruce Grove sign, the road changes back into a 4-lane highway. You leave Spruce Grove, you leave the boundaries of Spruce Grove, you hit Parkland County, the road goes back into a gravel road again. You get my picture? When you leave Stony Plain and you continue west, and as you keep going west, the road changes. It goes from a gravel road to a cow path, right? And it stays a cow path all the way to Entwistle. So that gives you a concept of where Parkland County is.